Okay. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Hey everybody, welcome to A Comic Book Look, the best comic book show and stream in the world. You could try to find other ones, but they're not going to be as good. They're not up to snuff. We have the best crew here with us, but before we do that, I think we do the minute to win it before that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the minute to win it, and Mr. John Demand is going to do it for us.
Ooh, okay. All right. A minute to win it. I definitely have something that I'm super excited about, and I know secretly you guys are too. There was a neat trailer that came out recently, and it's for Marvel, and it's about the Agatha show coming up this fall, and it looks so fun. I am so giddy about it.
Well, that
So
came out.
yeah, so the
Oh,
trailer came out. It's coming out and starts in September with what I anticipate is the season finale around Halloween, which is fantastic.
very fitting.
So I am personally very excited about that. Shout out to Disney Plus and Marvel Television. The trailer though is fantastic. You should absolutely watch it. But I am already Ken and I with our group of friends we're already arranging like a watch party kind of thing, just to
That's
watch
fun.
the premiere and geek out a little bit. So I am very excited about this. I've been waiting for a minute. The show underwent so many title changes, and
Yeah, I thought it got canceled.
it turns out it was intentional, which was brilliant. Because they did a thing where it scrolled through all the titles and then landed on the final one, and I was like, "That's fantastic!" So shout out to Agatha Harkness, besties. Truly, we're gonna have coffee soon. Looking forward to seeing your show. Hopefully, I can be in it sometime. And that's my minute and 56 seconds to win it.
I thought she was a huge highlight though in WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. I was just surprised that was she like a big character really before the show? Like was she like the prominent Marvel character, or was she just kind of
So
like somewhat there a character? Because
if you're a Fantastic Four fan, prominent, certainly. If you're into the magical stuff, definitely. She was in. I mean, it wasn't like an X-Men cameo all the time. So my Marvel path of reading, I never really met her too often, if at all.
because I never did.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, who is this? Oh,
yeah,
okay, Agatha Harkness. All right,
yeah.
cool.
But the more I read about her, and then I actually did pick up some of the back issues, it was actually pretty interesting stuff. So I don't know. It's a cool character. I think that's where MCU really shines, though, is bringing forward these characters, and for the most part, they do a great job. That's it. Yeah.
All right, you know what always does a great job though? That
What?
awesome intro we have.
Whoa! Shout out to Tom,
Mm,
by the way. He couldn't be here
yeah,
tonight, but sends a
absolutely.
big hello to everyone. And P.S. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I see we have some folks tuning in already, so awesome, awesome. But yes, let's roll those beautiful visuals.
A Comic Book Look, your weekly TV show on comic book culture.
I still love that this
It's
exists.
still so cool.
Yeah, it just makes me happy every time.
I can't help but like laugh every time I like. Oh, that's so cool.
The thing that you're doing.
Yeah. I don't think I've done it since. That's the funny part.
Oh man.
But we are here today, everybody. I am Sam, aka Noman12. I will be your host today, and we are. It's going to be kind of a kickback of a show, I'd say, everybody. But we can't have a cool kickback without some compatriots with us here today. And the one over to my side here is Mark C. Shelton, the Superman. Doesn't want to. He's humble about it. Doesn't want to tell us all about it, but he is the Superman and the definitive representative of Tennessee. And then we also on the bottom of me, but on the bottom of nobody's charts, it is John on Demand. His name is very fitting because he is always in need, always in demand right there.
I need to change that. I actually want to be like John is retired.
John is retired? No. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
And all together with us here, too bad our compatriot Tom is not with us today, but he is here with Spirit, and we are going to kill the game today and show some awesome books out here. I hope we all have a great time.
Boom.
Awesome. And so I think what our first thing we're gonna do literally is Johnny, I think you wanted to start with something.
Yes. So, first of all, shout out to Bamboo Panel Studios, which is really silly to shout out when I'm, a third of it, but also to Randy and Mr. Sam here. But coming up on Saturday at Starfighter Comics, we are doing a signing event for Cosmotrope #1. So we released this little beauty recently here in Sioux Falls, also available at Legend Comics in Lincoln, or not Lincoln, in Omaha, excuse me. And then also Starfighter Comics in Sioux City. Although rumor has it they sold out of the A cover. So we'll be bringing some more down to help refill it. But just a big thank you to all the shops, first of all. What's going on in Sioux City at Starfighter Comics this Saturday? We are releasing not one, but 2 new variant covers of Cosmotrope. Both are illustrated by talented artist Gabriel Perez. And one is the Gabriel Perez cover, and one is the Starfighter Comics exclusive cover, which is brilliant. It depicts the store getting destroyed by our book's antagonist, and it has the 2 store owners tied up in vines on a stake, and it's the funniest thing ever. Like, when I saw it, I died. So shout out to Gabe for those, because they turned out amazing. And I always love a good store exclusive cover like that, because as a customer, I know I appreciate the opportunity to have a piece of comic book, anything that represents the store that you frequent and shop at. And so I love local, and I love it when a customer that's local did it. So this is really a home run. It's an exciting opportunity for the Sioux City community. So we're looking forward to getting to know folks down there and meeting more of the Starfighter comic base, customer base. So
yeah, that store is really fun. I always anytime I'm in Sioux City, I always got to go check them out. Great people down there.
And I am just pulling up some quick event deets really quick here. Actually, you know what I could do is actually share my screen. Maybe. Possibly. There we go. So I'm just on the Book of Faces here. So if you're old like me, I love Facebook. But the event is titled Cosmotrope #1 comic signing. So this is going to be just a really good reference. I use these events all the time just for my calendar, but it's Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. is where that's at. And that's at Starfighter Comics in Sioux City, Iowa. So definitely shout out to them, and shout out to the fact that they ran out of the A cover. I mean, Randy and I are both up here in Sioux Falls, and to have another community embrace our work so willingly and quickly is very humbling and kind of unexpected, I'll be honest. So it's been really fun just to see the response so far to the book. And with Cosmotrope, I always clarify to people, this is a big kudos to Randy for the story idea and to Ashley for the art. So my part in this book is Randy says I undersell myself a lot, but I mainly did a lot of the formatting of like the inside cover with text, and then I also did like the comic book lettering and stuff. So
he does undersell himself. He did a fantastic job with that, and the book.
So I think you're a huge inspiration in getting it going and launched as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I got to give credit where it's due, though, because people actually want issue 2, and that's credit to Randy.
Yeah.
And people like how it looks. They say it's professional, and that's a huge testament to Ashley. So shout out to the team for that. Looking forward to our upcoming Project Dotties. That's on the way. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll crank out another variant cover or 2 of Cosmotrope before then. I don't know.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, I think, even if you're not from the area, I think if like people really can, if they sense something as local and there's some genuine like art and creativity towards something, I think they really do appreciate that, and can find some enjoyment, even if they maybe not are like a part of maybe they live a distance away. I personally love to go, like if I'm out of state, I always go grab the local books because they're really fun. Yeah. I did it in Michigan. I read some really interesting stuff from that. And so, yeah, like I can totally see why the people of Sioux City did it. And you know what? Love them for that.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that though. So definitely, if you're in the Sioux City area, come say howdy 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, and we will have our paint pens out there ready to sign.
Amazing. So next thing we were thinking about doing is a little bit of what we normally do, honestly, is we showcase some books we've read, and it's actually quite interesting this time because we have a little bit of splash of current and the fresh ones of the week, and we have some of just comics that we've read of any time. Frankly, I got books in my stack from 1999 to 2023, so I think I'm excited to showcase some stuff, but I don't think I should start with things. I think Mr. Marcy Sheldon should start.
Ooh,
Cool, man. I'll just start off with this right here, kicking off from the ashes. This is kicking it all off right here with X-Men. This is issue number 1, but 301. I've read it. I liked it. I wasn't really all in on the Krakoa stuff. I read bits and pieces of it. This still deals a little bit with the Krakoa stuff, but they're no longer living on Krakoa, and they've got their own spot now. And there's like a local police officer, or like the head of police is like just kind of like talking to Beast and like just investigating them and what they're doing. This is them just kind of intermingling back into society as mutants and how society will treat them no longer living on Krakoa. But I dig it. I love the team here. Juggernaut on the team. I've heard some people don't like that, but I think it's kind of cool. Cyclops leading the team. Psylocke and Majik, and I'm trying to think of. Wasn't familiar with Temper, I think was her name. Are you familiar with her, John? I know you.
So is that Fire and Ice Girl?
Not for
Where
sure.
she does like half fire,
Yes.
half ice. Yeah. So
Yes.
she originated from Generation Hope. If you remember that limited run, it wasn't great, but she was amongst like Hope, the redhead character, and then there were some other young characters too. But that's where she came into play. So she's been interesting. She was in the Sabretooth miniseries, and then the Sabretooth and the Exiles, I think is what it was called. Krakoa era series.
Was she just kind of introduced within the last 5 years? Newer character?
Generation Hope was a little bit older than that. So I
Okay.
want to say she's been around probably closer
Is
to
that-
8, 9, or 10.
Is that like near like Avengers vs. X-Men era? Because that's when like Hope was like really big and popular.
Yes. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it was right before that, because I think Generation Hope might have helped roll her out.
So maybe like 2010-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's that's a 14-year-old comic character then. So it's been around a little minute.
But such an odd one though, because I personally was really excited. I don't know if you guys remember from Uncanny X-Men. This was many years ago, like close to late 90s, early 2000s, when Charles Xavier went missing, and there was this team of like fictitious X-Men characters, but they were all blended versions of characters. There was a character with fire and ice that had a mask on called Crux, and I was like, what? Like, she shows up years later, but it's a different person, and I'm like, okay. So
they liked the idea, they wanted to do it again.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so she neat character. I'm cool. It's cool to see, younger characters get promoted basically, and watching them advance through the ranks. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I put the whole X-Men, the new books, on my pull list. I just want to try them out. If I don't like them, I'm dropping them. So
Yeah. This one Jed McKay writing though, who's doing Blood Hunt and then segment on art. So
I love how he writes.
Yeah.
Like I have been such a Jed McKay fan. Like his run on Moon Knight is like, if you're reading Moon Knight and then you're reading Blood Hunt, it feels so rewarding. It's like, because it's all it's all intermingling, and it's paying things off in that book, and you're getting characters that you wouldn't normally get, and falling in love with characters you didn't think you were going to care much about. Like I didn't think much about Tigra. Love Tigra now. She's an awesome character. And I think he's slowly becoming one of my favorite authors right now. I even almost considered reading Avengers because of that. I almost did it.
Yeah.
But his stuff's been really good. So I'll probably jump on that one very soon enough.
I'm like John, all in on X-Men. The X-Men '97, watching that cartoon, loved it. I'm like,
I
just
finally
wanna get
watched
back
some
into
of it.
X-Men comics.
Do you like it?
Loved
Yeah, it
it.
was really fun. Yeah, I had a good time with it. I just jumped right into the new episodes. I didn't go felt like I didn't want to jump and watch 300 episodes of the old one just to watch this new
You
one.
should go back if you have time, though. It's good.
I mean, I won't deny it, but I was like, I want to be in the loop a little bit. So I watched a few of these episodes. I like Wolverine was ribbing Gambit in that one episode because Rogue was had a little thing with Magneto a little
Whoa.
bit there. Spoiler alert. But it was like, oh yeah, they actually are pulling some stuff from the actual books here. I enjoy this. That's kind of cool.
Very, very impressive show. If you
Mhm.
guys, for everyone tuning in, if you haven't had a chance to check out X-Men '97, give it a shot. It is, if you have seen the old cartoons, you grew up on it like we did. Fantastic continuation, but as a standalone, I would still recommend it.
Yep.
I did not expect Wolverine to sound that way. That's not how Wolverine.
Oh, it's the same voice actor too. Yeah.
I just never saw that show, so like when I hear this voice, I'm like, that's Wolverine's voice.
Who dis?
I mean, the only voice I hear when I read.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
I guess Hugh Jackman might kind of.
mine was Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
show.
Which is
That
also
was that's my Wolverine voice in my
Mm.
head. Like he's like definitely like he's Hugh Jackman-esque, but he's a lot more gravelly.
Mm.
I was just like, whoa, that's the voice. Oh, okay, all right. Oh, and now I'm in. Okay, understood now. But yeah, that show's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it.
P.S. Shout out to Deadpool and Wolverine coming up in 2 weeks and 1
Heck
day.
yeah.
Very excited. Very excited. I'm probably gonna have to see that one in the theater like 3 times.
I'm trying to get caught up on Marvel movies. I just finished Thor: Love and Thunder the other night. That's how far
Okay.
back I am. So I'm gradually working my way up.
How's
What'd
it
you
been
think?
treating you?
Hit and miss. Things I like, things I don't like. A huge surprise, though. Something I was dreading watching that I actually really enjoyed was the Miss Marvel TV series.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It was
wasn't
actually really good. It was creative. Of course, it was more like teenager girl stuff, but a lot of the characters were very enjoyable, very well written. I loved all the creativity in the graphics.
I
They
didn't
did on
love
that
how they
show.
changed her powers, but I kind of get it at the same time. I think I thought it was really. I thought the characters were a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and they were the
It was-
best part of Marvel, Captain Marvel too. I think, and so I thought that show was a lot of fun. Yeah.
pleasant surprise.
Speaking of awesome marks, here's another one tuning in from YouTube. Mark Howd is checking in with us saying, I'm excited for Deadpool and Wolverine. Mark, thank you so much for tuning in.
Mhm.
And thank you for clarifying the issue of Rogue versus Captain Marvel in the Comic Book Look Facebook group. I'm glad you asked that question. I was like, I will learn that really quick. But yeah, so that was, shout out to Dark Avengers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll go next because mostly I'm just excited. I want to show this book off. The book I read was one that is designed specifically for me. Like they made this 2 years into my life as a 2-year-old, and they're like, Sam Nichols will enjoy this book, and it was Batman Tarzan.
Yes.
I am currently reading the Tarzan books. I'm on the 7th one.
Okay.
Very dated but very fun adventure books. And I was like, oh, it's Batman Tarzan. Oh, gotta love that. And it's the 3rd out of the 4th issues. So I went in peak storm of the story, and I had a great time with this. This was so much fun. You get a moment where like Tarzan, who has no issues with he's got no code till he and Batman have a big old fight over it's like, you can't kill people, Tarzan. He goes like, maybe in your civilized world those rules make sense.
Well,
but in the jungle there is no rules.
There's no rules.
And it was just like, all right, Tarzan, okay, when putting Batman in his place over there. And it's a really fun romp. It's more of a Batman's inserted into a Tarzan story than Tarzan's in a Batman story. And that's honestly how I wanted it. It was so much fun. It makes me want to get the other 3 issues so I can complete it. But this was just a blast. It was written by Ron Mars, so how could it not be great? This was so much fun.
Dude, heck yeah. crossovers like that are just I feel like they're just entertaining. Like I love especially the Marvel DC ones or the Marvel with other universes ones that you just, we saw them all the time when Sam and I used to work at Rainbow and we would backstock comics or whatever, go through comics, and you'd see Silver Surfer versus whatever, Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah, Green Lantern and stuff. Yeah, those are fun.
So I always love stuff like that. I even the DC versus Marvel versus DC event, that was fun. The 4-issue one. Yeah.
Well, depending on which ones you were reading, it was great or it was probably very weird.
They're all yeah.
Like if they had to explain Axis, I was like out.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
that was not enjoyable. I remember reading this that like I like the different characters mingling. I don't care about Access. Like I wish Access
Oddly
did
enough,
not exist.
Ron Mars created Access, so the guy who wrote this made Access.
You talking about the event Axis?
No,
Well, it
he's
was the
a
character Axis.
Okay, gotcha.
and he can go between universes, and yeah.
He's like the only character that is locked away in so much legal chains.
Yeah.
He could never appear in anything.
Can you imagine though, like someday if Disney and whoever owns DC decide to be friends and they're like, let's make Access happen. That would be amazing.
I would evaporate.
Yeah.
I would cease to exist.
Speaking of evaporation, shout out to Tom Devine tuning in.
Yeah.
Man, you guys look good. Tom, it's hard not to with this background. So whoever made it is amazing, and that's you.
So Johnny, do you have a book yourself?
Mm-hmm. So as I drink my dark elixir,
Yeah, I caught you in like that.
Last time, which was over a month ago, I talked about Blood Hunt and how excited I was. I posted about this on my personal page, but I just got this little cutie off of eBay because all of the stores in the area were out of it. This is a 1 in 25, but this is also Marie Wolf Lopez, and it is Werewolf by Night. So that was a no-brainer for me because she's going to be at SuperCon in September here. And so I was like, I 100% am getting this, and we'll see about remarking it or something cool. I don't know. We'll go crazy with it. But Maria, shout out to you. You did a beautiful job with this. This is definitely one of my favorite characters. I have a huge poster right here, and I am so excited to tear into this. However, I have not read the actual issue yet because I need to pick up the rest of the event first. Yeah. So I am pumped for it, and I love it. I love it a lot.
I just got done reading the 4th issue that just dropped like last
I've only
week.
read issue 2.
Okay, I just want to say it's dope.
I'm excited. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but I did like gush over it on another video. I was just like, I'm so excited for this event, and I was going nuts. I had a great time.
It's on your TikTok.
Yes, I didn't want to do a shameless plug.
You can also find Sam on TikTok at
@Noleman12. I was like, yeah, just another video. Don't worry about it. All right, Mark, do you have another book?
Yeah, man. Got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the 40th anniversary. It's a really almost like a trade, but it was just really good. Just an awesome anthology of little short Ninja Turtle stories. All the different depictions of them over the 40 years they've been around are all in this book right here. So I thought that was really cool, but nothing like really groundbreaking. It's not really anything to do with like the new series coming out. Like I said, it's just a lot of fun little short stories here. So
okay,
if you like Ninja Turtles at all, any iteration, I think you'd get into this.
Heck yeah.
Casey Jones, a lot of side characters are in it. Shredder. I don't remember any Bebop and Rocksteady, unfortunately, though, weren't in this. But yeah, that was kind of I just now thought of that.
Like, are you going to read the new run by Aaron?
I want to get into that for sure. I wasn't reading that last series. Every time there was a really cool cover, I might pick it up just for the cool cover, and then I'd read it and not really know what was going on, but I knew the characters enough that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But
apparently they're continuing the continuity with it.
What's that?
But apparently they're continuing the continuity with that too. So it's like everything that happened in that previous run still happening.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's like, all right. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what they do with, like they can't just use Shredder again. We'll see what happens. Like that intrigues me a little bit. And Jason Aaron knows how to write Batman story.
And
So
I love Jason Aaron. So like, if he's writing Ninja Turtles, I want to read that.
heck yeah. I haven't read any Turtles ever, so
Really?
I'm never like
Not
I
even the
never,
Batman crossover. Ah,
I like Turtles was something that missed me, guys. Like I was not
Woo!
like
Sam.
I like even the 2003 series when that was coming out, I was 6.
Yeah.
So like I really didn't watch a lot of Turtles stuff when like growing up. So like the most like Turtle stuff I have is going to the local arcade in town and playing the arcade game,
which
the
that's
beat 'em
awesome.
up game, which is really fun. I have a great
Yeah.
time with that. But that's really all I got for Turtles. But that like hey, maybe the Jason Aaron and I'll hop on.
Yeah.
All right. So my next book. You know what? Since I did the crossover last, I'm just gonna do the other one. Turns out I did 2 Batman crossovers. I read the Batman Dylan Dog crossover that dropped like this past year. This was a lot of fun too. I had no real knowledge about Dylan Dog other than that really bad movie that came out. Like I don't even want to remember. It had what was his name? He played Superman too. Brandon Ralph.
Gosh, is that who Dylan Dog? I remember seeing the movie. It was around 2011 or 2012 when that.
Yeah,
came out.
I think
don't remember who played him.
Tay Diggs was in it. I think right or something.
It was like 2011 or
Yeah,
2012.
it is a memory hole. I
Yeah.
have the DVD.
I didn't hate it though. It was
Oh.
Dylan Dog.
Yeah, that's the thing. Who is
Yeah, it was
like
a movie.
I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I was intrigued to read it. Turns out Dylan Dog is like a self-described nightmare investigator, kind of like an occult detective. He's an Italian comic book character, and like I guess he's really big overseas, more so than anything. And they actually have now I could be very wrong, so please like do look this up for yourself. But I think they have a lot of Italian artists and mayhaps the actual like guy who created him working on this crossover with him and Batman. And he plays like it plays off as Batman's at his most ridiculously over planning version of him, where he's like, I have plans for everything. I'm the most like insane version of me. And Dylan Dog is like, you are very weird, and I deal with ghosts and zombies. That is weird for me. And it was a lot of fun to read, and the art in it is stunning. Like let me get you to a page it's pretty violent, so I'll try to find a good one here that's not that way. Like the art in that is really cool. It's like it has like a lot of like muted color tones and the flashing of the like is like you could definitely tell like there's some like light bouncing off these characters very well. Had a great time with it. I'm more intrigued to figure out what other stories Dylan Dog is into. Maybe read some more about him after this. And it's kind of the idea of these crossovers. Put them with Batman, and maybe the other people will like them too. So yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Shout out to Dylan Dog.
Shout out to Dylan Dog. Don't watch that movie; it's horrible.
From YouTube, Mark also just weighed in. I picked up the 40th anniversary of TMNT as well. Bebop and Rocksteady are usually forgotten in the comic.
How? They're like the other than Shredder, they're the most popular villain. So aren't they not?
I mean,
Krang's up there, but
Krang's pretty cool.
like
I don't know.
What's the tier list then? It's Shredder and then everybody else, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think about the Cyborg Turtle. He was pretty cool.
Metalhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That was
then
new for
wasn't there
me.
the Crazy Turtle, like the bigger, like almost like Bizarro Turtle?
Slash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked him.
Oh, he's like a snapping turtle. I think I remember that one a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they shouldn't be. I agree. I love them in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Good call, Mark. Other Mark. YouTube Mark. There you go.
All right. Johnny, do you have another book or
I does not.
Mm.
So, like I said, when I get my next little batch of books, then I will be reading new stuffs. So.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go again. Or Mark, do you have another one? Actually,
I can do 2 for the price of 1 here.
Oh,
Just
good.
real quick. Still reading Ice Cream Man. This is issue number 40. talked about last issue how good it was. This is the continuation of that issue. It did like a decompression issue where this family got in a car wreck and kind of breaks down their whole life. Well, this is the other car that wrecked into their car and their life story. So a little bit different. It was really good, though. I highly recommend Ice Cream Man. And then just still rocking out with Transformers here.
Yeah.
This is issue number 10 and still continues to be a delightful read.
Is Williamson still writing that one? No, that's
He was writing the Cobra Commander. It was
Yeah,
only
he
5
was.
issues. This
That's
one's
true.
Daniel Warren Johnson.
okay. So I thought he left the book.
I thought he was going to, but he's still on there.
Is he done doing art?
Let me see if he's actually writing it. He's doing the cover. Yeah, he's still writing it.
Okay, but he's not doing the art anymore then?
No, but it
Okay.
sure does look a lot like his art. It's actually Jorge Corona. Still
Okay.
very complimentary of Warren Johnson's artwork.
Mhm.
You can see that.
As long as there's still Transformers doing like RKOs and like clearly doing wrestling finishers in there like there was in that book previously.
No,
That
his
was
influence is still definitely there.
awesome. That's amazing.
How is the Energon universe holding up for you, Mark? Because I remember we spoke a couple months ago on the show, and you were just saying, like, dude, every single thing rocks my socks. Where are
It's
you
not-
at with that now?
It's not bad, but it's not quite on that level of when it first started.
Okay.
But it's still good.
Okay.
Still worth reading.
It was an impressive start. I don't think I've ever seen you so excited about a series of books. Like, usually I'm the one that's like Blood Hunt or Dark Reign. I'll just buy it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, every story's got to have that high peak and then it goes down, but then it'll pop back off again.
Yep.
And then you'll be like,
There for a while,
"Oh."
it was like every page you turn, it was just like, boom. Now it's a good comic that I still enjoy reading.
Cool.
Well, and they stopped doing Duke and Cobra Commander, right?
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
pretty much just like Transformers, G.I. Joe. And
Oh, they got a Scarlet from the
Yeah.
G.I. Joe universe. Kelly Thompson's writing that miniseries.
Hmm.
And then Joshua Williamson's writing a Destro miniseries that both currently going.
That's cool.
Destro. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know like that's another one of those like IPs. I'm like I've learned through osmosis who these characters are and like wait you got
It's such a big cast. Don't feel bad.
and I
No,
was just like oh you're giving like Destro okay
Yep.
the guy with the shiny head okay got it
Yeah, that's how I am with like Pokemon. I don't know anything about Pokemon, but
yeah
anything from the 80s, I was all about that.
awesome that's good that the series is still going good and it's
Yeah.
like it's doing exactly what people want just
Yep.
being a good story at that point which
Yep.
is that's all you need sometimes.
Yep.
Awesome. I do have one more. It's a very fancy book. Very a pinnacle, we would say, a microcosm of things to come in storytelling.
Okay.
Yes, very very prominent story here. It is a facsimile of an older book. I read number 3, All-Star Comics. This was the third issue, I guess, of the Justice Society of America. And this is an interesting read. I really do enjoy reading these things for like just getting the getting some of the first stories these characters ever went on. Like for me, like what was like a first Flash story gonna be like? What's like a Hawkman story back then? What was a Alan Scott Green Lantern story back then? And they're always really interesting, especially the Sandman story on this one. Like that would be a horror story now. Like it would be a creepy story now. Like it's all like the Sandman one is the one I'll only point out because we're having the blood hunt. It's all spooky. The Sandman one is about him and his like companion are just driving and they come across this giant 20-foot tall man and he's like, oh, that's terrifying. And they go over to investigate and turns out he's just a sack of skin now because it turns out there's a scientist who's using like growth hormones to make people gigantic and they can't. And after whatever he puts in them is it fades out. They're just like the body can't handle that anymore because the bones didn't grow and they just go. That is a Vault comic or an Oni Press comic waiting to happen. Make that happen now. Like redo that story, DC, but with like make it all spooky and gross. I want to read that now. But altogether, these like it's a compilation of like all these characters having like a 4-page story, ranging from burglars, like having a funny act, to literally fighting space golems to decide who leaves Earth. It goes crazy. If you're used to more modern comics, this is a slow read. This is an incredibly slow read. I definitely had to take breaks off this one. I'd read 1 or 2 of the stories and go like, all right, I'm gonna put this down a minute again because it just at a crawl. Maybe I have like no attention span, but I was just like, okay, yep, all right. Did we really have 4 panels of them just going like, I'm gonna look at this, and I'm gonna look at this, then I'm gonna punch that guy? It's like, maybe I'm used to the there's a lot of words for not a lot going on. Maybe that's what it was with these kind of stories. And I personally still love them because of the humble beginnings of a lot of these characters and the historical aspect of it. But it definitely does take me a while to read these for sure. But still definitely enjoyed it. For collectors, these are must gets because otherwise you'd have to drop thousands of dollars on them otherwise.
I like that those exist too, because it is a good way to break people into what it was like back then, but also just to drive interest in those characters during that time frame for stories and stuff. The ones that I've read, I'm thankful for. That particular team, JSA stuff always intimidates me. When I was stocking comics at Rainbow, so much volume, so much history, and to break into that and do it meaningfully would take years of reading. I think like it's a lot, and so yeah, kudos to you for jumping in.
That's the comic history is probably one of the most interesting things. This is gonna be full nerd here, mask off, where you can like there's always another deep hole you can find yourself in. You can go all the way to read Golden Age books and get like the first origins of just what it is, like of why these tropes exist in superheroes. Or you can go deep into like 90s books and you can figure out why the Max was super popular, even though it baffles you how it even got 35 issues, but it's also you can't stop reading it. Or you could go into why there was 4 Supermen because Superman died, and like all the history of why that happened, what people thought about it at the time, and the historical impact of it. Comics history is crazy, and it never stops being interesting to read and learn about. Well, otherwise, if you have any other ones, but those are all my books.
Same here, man.
Gotcha. So let's do one more shout out for the Sioux City thing.
Oh, sure. Yes. This Saturday, shout out to Starfighter Comics. So Bamboo Panel Studios, Randy and I, and maybe Sam will be there. And we are going to be selling Cosmotrope #1, but it's going to be 2 variant covers that are going to be released exclusively at that event. One is the Starfighter Comics store exclusive cover, and the other is Gabriel Perez, who is a comic book artist that shops there and is an amazing human being. He illustrated both the Starfighter cover and his own exclusive cover. So he will be on hand to sign those, and then Randy and I will be there to sign as well. So we're looking forward to connecting with the Sioux City community. That is Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, 1 to 4 p.m.
Amazing. Yep. So now I'm going to try to remember a little outro. Do we do the outro, like the video first, or do we do the Keep It Comics?
The video shuts it down.
Understood. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna keep it comics here at the Comic Book Look, and then we go over to Mr. Mark, where he does his best.
Bagging and boarding's never boring.
We catch you guys all later. That's right.
Comic Books Live, baby. All right.
Here
we go.
The Comic Book Look, your weekly TV show on comic book culture.